crude also continues to be a major bummer for a lot of countries, especially like India, who are net importers of crude oil. At about over $93 a barrel, touching that crucial 95, could touch that crucial $95 a barrel mark in days to come. How comfortable are you with these numbers? How long can India sustain these numbers before having to, move quickly and swiftly to do something about it?
Well, it's a perfect storm for oil because on one hand, when OPEC production continues to drop, it's more than a decade where we've not seen any revival in production by OPEC. OPEC production deliberately or it's a planned outage, but it has been continuously going down. So that is not a good news. Second, the non-OPEC production from the US was the major catalyst for the oil market. But it seems that the shale oil production in US seems to have peaked out, and from here we don't see upside in that numbers. Recently, US is lifting up sanctions on Venezuela to release the more oil supply, but it will take time and not more than maximum a million barrel, not more than that. So oil market is pretty tight, and any escalation from here in the geopolitics, that Strait of Hormuz getting close, something like that, and oil will flare up. So my conservative target
Okay.
for the Brent is $100. I don't
On
want
the
to, but
Venezuelan
it
oil,
will.
Kunal, with additional supply of Venezuelan oil, do you think there could be some easing of pressure on oil prices?
And also Saudi has
No,
said that it will stabilize price and disruptions in the weeks to come. So do you expect any more cuts going forward from Saudi?
To just balance out the additional supply from Venezuela?
no, I don't think so. Because OPEC Plus have already done too much. Until and unless prices drop significantly, they will not initiate a new production cut. Venezuela, I don't think so. It's a major problem. It accounts for almost the current production is 0.8 million barrels in a 102 million barrel market. And with the lifting off of sanctions, another 0.5 to 0.8 million barrels of oil can flow in next 6 months, because it's not like you start a tap of water and it starts flowing. It takes time to restart the excess capacity, what idle capacity which you have been having. So Venezuela is not a major news as for us, and the OPEC Plus stance is not going to change immediately. So still continue to remain bullish on oil. And my big case is that US oil production is going to drop going forward, because a lot of basins are running, showing signs of exhaustion. So oil looks quite bullish right now.
Okay. We had Vijay Bambani on the show yesterday, Kunal, and he said something very interesting. He said, no matter how many times you cut production, as long as there is no demand, there is no consumption, you cannot really stabilize prices of oil. Do you concur with that viewpoint, or do you
No,
believe it's now
I
about
don't.
time that the prices may just go up?
No, it's not about that. It's not about demand anymore. Demand continues to remain. So oil demand is at 102 million barrels. So we've already breached pre-COVID levels. And this is a myth, that the oil demand is collapsing. Emerging market, I mean, even with the emergence of electronic vehicle, 70% of the car sales comes from the developing markets. So it's a time, developing markets are going to take 5 to 8 years to transit from normal traditional cars to the electronic vehicles. So, I mean, people are still about to get their first car in our country. So, I think it's quite a time, and too optimistic to say, people things are looking bad from the demand side. The demand side is quite robust, and India is going to make a big mark in oil demand. So, do not underestimate demand. Demand side will do well. It's the supply side which is causing the major problem in oil market.
Now, Mr. Shah, India is a net importer of oil, as we know. At what level will you start feeling uncomfortable in context for domestic economy?
Well, we are already at uncomfortable levels. Any level above 95 or near 90, 95, and another spike of $10, will be in a very uncomfortable situation. So we've seen a statement coming when oil tested $94 a fortnight back. Our oil minister made a statement regarding oil, and I think anything above 95 and we are not in a comfort zone. So I just keep my fingers crossed that it doesn't go above that.
All right, and you know, before we let you go, Kunal, I think an important question to every person's mind right now as a consumer watching out. You said anything over 90, hovering around 95 would perhaps be a cause of worry. Does that mean in the near future oil perhaps could get more expensive? We know current account deficit. We know country is going to take a hit on current account deficit, but to what extent can OMCs and the government take a hit if oil prices continue to soar?
Especially since government has essentially put a price freeze on fuel prices. I mean, since May of 2022, we have not really seen, you know, petrol and diesel prices rise. So a lot of pressure on OMCs, no?
As far as the government is concerned, yeah, there will be a lot of pressure on government and also on OMCs. And I'm expecting, you know, the fundamental of oil indicating towards further upside, and any escalation towards Strait of Hormuz, where a lot of oil supply generally pass through, I think that's going to cause major havoc. So let's pray it doesn't happen, and let's hope that something will come up which will bring down the oil prices, but the fundamentals are definitely not indicating towards that.
All right, Kunal, thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on Newsline. Good to have you back. Hopefully to get you back very, very soon if prices continue to remain stable, and we hope so too.